In this session, we're going to look at how to manage alerts, how to configure alert handling. Log in as normal. Once you're in, you will see your system or systems appearing here line by line. So if you have multiple CounterSnipe APDs on your network, you will see all of them in separate lines here. Click on Alert Handling. By default, these settings would all be unchecked. Now, your aim has to be to determine what sort of priorities or what sort of events do you want to be alerted on. Now, the system has two parts, as you know. You have the IDS IPS part, or the exploit, attack, signature, trap part. And that's the part that logs everything. So it logs every event that's taking place on your network, or drops the traffic based on those rule sets that are in action from your network, and it still logs it unless you have a silent drop setup. The other part separately is how often do you want to be disturbed by what is going on your network. Now, how often you want to be disturbed is how often you want to be alerted via email about issues on your network. Now, you only want to be alerted if those attacks are relevant to you, i.e. if they're directly going to affect you, because we know all the time what is on your network that's being protected. We know what attack could possibly affect you. And this is where you set the priorities, the criticalities as to what's the level of tolerance that you're allowing on the network before you want to be disturbed. You have two grids here. You have the high confidence alert grid and you have the low confidence alert grid. The high confidence alert grid is when you know what the installed application is, when you know that the installed application has a CVE identifier, and you know that the vulnerability that the signature trapped, it does have an identifier as well, a CVE identifier. So these are the 100% sure items. These are the things that you know for sure about. Now, in that case, you then decide whether you want high priorities, low priorities, mediums, and so on. If you look at classifications in here, you can tell which group of signatures, because this is all of the 12, 13, 14,000 signatures are all divided into these classifications. Now, by looking at these classifications, you can tell which group of classifications is set to what actions. And then you can determine whether the medium classifications you just want stopped and an action taken on, or do you also want to be alerted on those? Okay, that's the difference. Do you want it to just function, or do you want it to be alerted on? Now, in terms of the email alerts, then you go back to alert handling and you determine. Our recommended setting is that on high confidence alerts, where we know the three values, you either issue an alert and you flag the host as compromised. So the two check boxes. This is our recommended setting for high confidence alerts. There is one thing that you must bear in mind. Every alert that originates from an internal machine is a high confidence alert. Therefore, you must make sure that in devices, and if I do device and view and options, you must have specified your internal network for alert management. Unless you specify that, it the system will regard every single alert that originates as if it was originating from your internal IP address or from your internal host. In that case, it will regard all of the alerts as high confidence. So provided you have that internal network setting, this setting will take care of it. You can now go ahead and if you say, for example, in classifications, if you want to be alerted on medium things as well, like bad or unknown or denial of service attacks and so on, then you want to make sure in alert handling you also check the medium one to alert on. So this way it will issue an alert on high and also on medium. The second grid is the bottom grid, and that is the low confidence alert. In the low confidence alerts, one of those values is not known. One of the values, i.e. we don't know the installed application, we don't know the CVE values, and we don't know the CVE identifier of the vulnerabilities from the vulnerability database that we update all the time. Now, because of that, the alert is regarded as low confidence, or the event is regarded as low confidence event. And so therefore, do you want to be alerted on that event? This is where you make that decision. Our recommended setting again is that you issue an alert and then you suppress the signature so that it doesn't keep alerting on the same signature until you attended to the problem. Okay, so it suppresses the signature for that specific host in future. This is how you manage those low confidence alerts. And the low confidence alerts would be things where you created your own signatures. You know, where you're writing your own signature here in the local group by doing create new signature. Those would be the low confidence alerts, because these signatures in the low confidence section, they do not have CVE identifiers because they are the signatures that you created yourself. That very much is what you can do with alert management. Once you've checked those boxes, you click submit, and from that point onwards, you will start getting emails as per your settings in the alerts tab here. So as per these email settings, you will start getting email alerts.